Well, spring is here. We're gonna make a great piece of equipment, this Mulch Mate trailer, even better with the new upgrade that we received. This is a new style remote control. This one doesn't have remote control. I have to get there and touch the button on the unit itself. But all the controls for the whole unit are right here. And the harness, I'm assured, is just plug and play. It's right there, it's all measured, no crazy wiring. This is gonna be sweet. You know that you hit the button, there's a click in there, so you know you have activation. Well, it feels good. It's heavy, it's definitely, and it's got a protective cover on it too, look at that. But what's gonna happen, this remote unit, which will be in my hand, I will not have to be over here pushing all these buttons, turning and, you know, feed, roll, and all that stuff. It's all gonna be right in the fingertips. While you're on the machine, I'll be riding the machine. Pull up under the conveyor belt, hopefully, push the button, drive away. None of this stretching for this thing like I've had to do. You can see it in the other videos. We're gonna do an installation of the new remote control system. We have it because we ordered a conveyor belt extension part for the Mulch Mate unit. We did not have a remote installed already. Some people already have a remote installed in your unit, so this is not going to be necessary. Some people don't have a remote and don't have the conveyor belt system and wanted to put a remote system. This is what you're going to get. Basic components, 3 components: the handheld unit, the receiver unit, and then there's a wiring harness that needs to get replaced. So let's just run over where these are. You know where this is going to go, in your truck and in your hand. This is the receiver unit. You're going to open up your basket here. This is going to mount with the antenna facing down, and they do give an insulator. There's a rubber insulator that goes on top of the box right here in that threaded area. And it's going to mount right here. The wire is going to run down here, across here. You take a 1.25 to 1.5 inch hole saw so you can fit the harness through it. You have to drill a hole through the bottom of the plate right here. And then the last piece is this harness, which is the timer module harness. It allows integration of the receiver to integrate with the control box, and that's very simple. We already have the panel off. We'll show you how we got the panel off. Try not to lose your nuts. But there's a panel back in here in the corner if you look in your unit. This is the module right here. It's just clip. This unit plugs into it, and that's it. Very simple. Let's get to it. All right, so the first step is we're gonna get this box out of the way. It's because you need to get on the back side, drill your hole underneath here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. It'll hang out here. So it's a T30. T30 is the size of the bit. Hello? All right, so now the box is out of the way. I'm gonna unplug it on the inside over here just so it's not dangling from the wires and pulling on the wires. Oh. Now, could you cheat and not take this out? Yeah, you could. You can move your hole saw over here. But what's gonna happen, if you put your harness out of the way of the box and it's way over here, you know you're gonna rip those wires out of the back here eventually. It's gonna happen, you're gonna break those wires. So just spend a couple minutes and take this out. Okay, so here I got my drill. I'm gonna approximately figure out where I need to be, because I'm gonna stick my head through here and drill up here. So basically, I'm going to start drilling right about here. And the reason being, there's a bracket here, a lip. I don't want to drill through that. And there is a bracket up top on the other side. You can catch the edge of that one, but try to keep your hole as far to this side as possible and as far down as possible without going through all those other brackets. So just take your time, look, make sure you're centered out good, and then go for it. You have to commit eventually. Safety goggles on, because you're going in here and you're drilling above your head. Make yourself comfortable, find your spot, go for it. Now I'm going to run it backwards because sometimes metal does good running backwards. We're going to try it both backwards and forward on the teeth. All right, so now we got it backward. Now I'm going to head forwards. I'll probably go back and forth. definitely wear glasses. I got showered in shavings. So keep that in mind. Safety first. Well, sometimes safety second, but get the job done safely. We have the hole drilled. Now it's time to play with all the wiring. First thing I'm going to do is put the antenna on here now. Once this is screwed up onto the cage, we'll be ready to roll. It's got a knurled nut right here, so don't overkill it. This is the rubber insulator. This is the mounting insulator, so there's no vibrations going from the trailer into the unit to damage it. Just screw that into there. You can just hold it. It's rubber, so you can just turn it. Again, don't kill it. It's mounted in plastic, so that's good. This nut on top, it's a 10 millimeter. So I have a socket, there's a nut, a lock washer, and a flat washer. And we're just gonna go mount it in the cage now. So I'm gonna drill one more hole after looking at this. And I wanna move this as far out of the way as possible. If I use the existing holes in this mesh right here, it's still a couple inches inboard. So I wanna move it as far away out of the way of any damage this way. So basically, I'm just gonna hold this up into position where it needs to be, eyeball it, drill a hole, then we're gonna mount it. The good thing is that it's aluminum, it drills easily. All right, so now it's gonna take off the nut, the lock washer, and the flat washer. Get your dexterous fingers going here. Stud up through the hole. Mount all that stuff on top. Grab my ratchet. All right, so now take this into the harness, run it down the hole we just drilled. I'm gonna go grab a couple of zip ties, gonna zip tie it here, 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 here. I'll probably, and then all the way down here, just straight down through the hole. I'm probably gonna overkill it with zip ties, but I really don't want this wire getting damaged down the road. You know how people are, including myself. At the end of the day, you're tired, you just throw your shovels and your rakes up in here, all willy-nilly, don't care. Or customer has aggravated the crap out of you. And you just want to get out of there and you're slamming your tools around. And that's when things go south. Ask me how I know. Okay, don't need these anymore. We are done with this part, so just put your mat back down. Close this up because we are done in here. Now we're gonna go around the other side and start playing with the wiring, the connections. Next is this little harness, the little adapter piece to allow the remote to talk to the control box, which will tell the motors what to do. This one's hanging right here, so this is not a difficult one. I got some corrosion in here. I am going to spray some cleaner in here. I'm glad we saw that. That's not a problem right now, but it would be down the road. All right, so we sprayed that connector with some contact cleaner and put some dielectric grease in there to prevent any future corrosion problems. So that's done. That's in there. All right, so now let's start the reassembly. I'm gonna put the control box back in the hole. All right, this connector's good. There's no corrosion here. I'll tell you, that compost, that stuff is bad news. Remember, get them all started before you tighten them down. Don't put one in and tighten it because you'll never get the other ones lined up. So now it's time to plug these suckers together. Now, they will go into the wrong one, so make sure you pay attention. The control box, this is the part coming from the antenna. This is the receiver coming out of the hole. The control box up top, basically top and top, right? So the control box goes to the upper plug on this harness. So connect those together first. Don't manhandle it. Okay. Now, the lower hanging plug comes down here to the, this is the timer module unit. That's where that one goes. And this plug, don't worry about it. That's for other accessories down the road. So the final step to all this is put this plate back on the inside. It was only 2 1/2-inch nuts. The studs are in there. But to get it on, put this lower stud on first and then twist it into position. Because you kind of have to sneak that back corner behind the black plastic shield that's back here. there. Make sure your wires are out of the way. Next thing you know, it just falls into position. There it is. Now, put the two nuts on. Oh, they're way back there. One. Now, I'm not going to cheat. I am not going to use an air gun this time. But as you're going to tighten these down at the very end, you see over here there's a crack happening. Just make sure you push it over there to seal everything off nicely. All right, so that's the end of that. That's the last step. The receiver is mounted inside the box, as you saw. If you're curious about this extension conveyor system that we just installed as well, will be another video. Probably put it on the screen right here or down in the description somewhere. Check out that video. That is an awesome unit as well. All right, so first impression, very impressive. This remote control is stupid responsive. If you're used to this old style one, and you know you have to push a button and pause, and it might work, and just take a little while to work. This one, you hit the button, just listen. I'm gonna hit in. You know you couldn't do that with this one. Worth the upgrade. All right, time to load this up so we can unload it. Doesn't get much faster than that. All right, so if you want to see some usage of this remote and this extension conveyor belt, subscribe to us because we are going to put some videos out real soon. We're about to get back to work. Winter's over, spring is here. We're going to be using the heck out of this machine, get the notifications for our videos, and check them out. Beep, 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 beep.